This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. 9, it's End of the Bench with Joyce Woodman and Jeff Haxton on 100.7 The Score, and Dan Patrick Show here on Double T 97.3. Washed Up Guy weighs in. Many years ago, my wife and I bought Eurail passes and spent 8 weeks traveling by train around Western Europe.
Wow.
It's a wonderful way to see places.
Man,
wow.
I bet so.
Washed Up Guy. That takes some coin to be able to do that. I wouldn't say you're so washed up unless you're washed up now, but it takes some means. Spend 8 weeks doing that.
I imagine it does. I think you're kind of missing the point here of like how cool that was. Instead of talking about his financial situation, just talk about how cool it is what he did.
Right, no.
It wasn't, I don't think it was meant as a humble brag.
No,
tell everyone how much money he makes. I think he was talking about the cool stuff he did on a train.
Right. It's probably fair. Probably fair, but I was just thinking,
But your comment is fair. He
took some coin.
Clearly. Cost some money, yes. They don't usually give those away for free unless they want it on a game show or something.
One like on this station. That would be cool if we gave away 8 weeks on a Eurail passes going around Western Europe.
But they have to take you with them.
Oh, they have to. Have to or get to.
I mean, like those guys in the Alumni Association have to take Thetford and Ashby.
Oh my God, yeah, that's.
They'll keep it fun. I guarantee you that. Those folks are gonna have a blast. I'm so jealous.
Going to Alaska. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could go with them. What if like one of them couldn't go? Like what if Thetford at the last minute go? Man, I just can't make it. Would you go hang with Ashby for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Is Ashby going to be telling baseball stories for like 7 days? I'm in.
Yeah.
I saw this, and I didn't even know that this was kind of a real thing, but this is really cool. Kevin Harvick, who is a retired NASCAR driver, he and his wife have purchased the Ricky Bobby house from the movie Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Apparently that was not just the front of a movie set. It was a real 12,042-foot square mansion. He bought it in late October, $6.75 million, 6 bedrooms, 9 bath, 1.31 acre lot, 2 docks, a boat lift, a sandy beach area, putting green, and an infinity pool with a hot tub. It's located off Lake Norman in Cornelius, North Carolina. How about that?
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. The home was built in 2002 and was the on-screen residence for the fictional NASCAR driver Ricky Bobby. They had the prayer.
If I was gonna buy a famous movie house or building or whatever, I don't think that would be the one I'd go after.
What would you go after?
I don't know. I don't know. I just
Wayne Manor with the Batcave.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
I'd buy John Dunbar's house and Dances with Wolves.
Oh my God! Is that the TP?
See, I was thinking Superman's Crystal Palace. That's isolated Crystal Palace. It's off like in the North Pole all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
For you.
Yeah. I don't know. What about Santa's Village? Let's just buy his village.
That'd be cool to be,
Wouldn't the elves bother you and all the working, all the noise?
All the talking.
Singing.
By the way, at the gym last night, I heard my first Christmas music. They were putting up the Christmas tree, and I heard a Christmas song last night.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't disturb me or anything like that, but.
Oh, man. Hax would have lost his mind.
Because it's before Thanksgiving, right?
Sure.
Man, he is all about respect the turkey, isn't he?
I think I'm gonna put a Christmas tree up in here. And I needed to make sure I do it this week because he's gonna be gone next week.
Okay.
And so I need to do it this week so we can all see his head spin off.
he might refuse to come to work.
Wouldn't be the first time.
This Chuck driving up tomorrow from Round Rock for the Red-Black game and the men's basketball game. Any recommendations for food at the arena? The chicken strips are good.
Yeah, they are.
The chicken strips are real good. I mean, there's a barbecued sandwich. There's a standard burger. This is so funny.
I didn't even think about that, but that's perfect for folks where you can catch the baseball game and basketball game tomorrow night. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. This was so funny the other night at the women's game. So I don't always eat before the women's game, but the media meals are now upstairs, and I think I decided to go up there and get something to eat. Well, the volleyball game had ended late, and our game was delayed, so we thought we'll go get something to eat. Well, a lot of the kids, the worker bees, they'd taken all the food, and so we didn't have any. So I was like, let's just go to the concession stand, thinking about getting something. And poor Fink, he pulls up to this concession stand, and he's going to order a hot dog, okay?
And all he had was cash.
He had cash in his hand, and the look on his face
they
when they
looked at him like he was holding a grenade.
Right.
What are we gonna do with that?
And
Don't come at me with that.
The look on his face when they told him, "Sir, this is cashless. We don't take any cash." He was just like dumbfounded. And I said, he pulled out his debit card and I said, "Man, when's the last time you were at a game as a fan?" And he's like, I don't know. I said, "Well, this has been cashless like for years." Football,
at least a couple, I think.
Football too, but anyway, it was just
a couple.
Just the look on his face was it was priceless. I wish I'd taken a picture.
Would you guess that sped things up? At the,
I think so. I think it sped things up. The other thing that I think has sped things up is the way that they do the kind of the winding through the line, so that basically it's next man up. You know, depending on because like if you get behind one person, they order 17 things for their 18 kids, and then the next
and don't know what they want after they've been in line for 30 minutes.
Right, but the way that they've kind of got the kind of this I don't know how to describe it.
17 things.
Multiple places where you can order.
Huh?
Multiple places where you can order.
Multiple places where you can order. Yeah, it's really good. I will tell you this: the other day, I went to a place that I paid cash for something, and the girl handing me back the change, she couldn't tell me. She's like, "How much is 2 quarters?" I'm like, "That's 50 cents." Yeah, I mean, she could not count the change back. I'm literally telling her she owed me 48 cents. I go, "Give me a quarter, and then give me a dime," and I think it was 42 cents. "Give me a dime, give me a nickel, and then give me 2 pennies." She literally could not count.
She said, "How much is a quarter worth?"
She goes, "How much is a quarter?" Yeah, I'm like. I was just like, man, we need to help these folks out here. It was my head about rolled off my head.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I rarely get to say this, but we are officially at the end of today, halfway through the month. It is November the 15th, 2023. Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Why do you rarely get to say it?
Because
there's so many 31-day months.
Right.
Okay.
And then we're not here we're not here on the 15th of every month.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess sometimes that takes you away from it. It's disappointing.
Right.
Or we have to wait till noon.
Yeah, have to get you a slot at the beginning of the bottom line. Mm-hmm. You say we're halfway through the month.
Maybe Clint will do that today.
Halfway through this one, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking. and then my outrage at that versus halftime, which I don't have an outrage for halftime, but I just have an outrage in my head for halfway through this one at the end of 4.5 innings.
and me and every baseball person that I know now says it more just to poke at Chuck.
Just to poke at Chuck.
Yeah.
It is funny. All right, proceed, Mr. McGuire.
No, you all keep talking about it being halfway through. They don't know if to do this, and we can all go home. 1946, Ted Williams is picked as the American League MVP. Figure hitting 401 makes pretty good reason for you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 1961, Roger Maris is the AL MVP.
61
home runs.
Yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer situation there. 1980, The 30th NASCAR Sprint Cup, wasn't called Sprint Cup at the time, but you get the idea. Dale Earnhardt wins. 1997, Red Raider football comes out of Stillwater with a 27-3 win over the 24th ranked Cowboys.
Wow.
2018, LeBron James passes Wilt Chamberlain for 5th on the NBA scoring title list with 44 points for the Lakers in a 126-127 victory over the Portland Trail Blazers at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. It is National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day.
Okay.
So, get rid of all those leftovers, start making room for the leftovers that are coming next week.
Do you have to do that, Jeff?
No, that's not really. I have leftovers, but they usually get eaten within a couple of days of being
that's
made.
kind of how it is at our house.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I've got a gallon of Gatorade.
Gallon of Gatorade?
Uh-huh.
A gallon?
Well, I make it a gallon at a time, and I had...
Oh, you make it?
Yeah.
A lot cheaper that way.
A lot cheaper that
I don't
way.
feel like it's as good, though.
It's probably not, but for the purposes of drinking that particular Gatorade, it's just to get rehydrated.
Sure, that's good.
And it works for that. It's also National Raisin Bran Cereal Day.
I'm out on the Raisin Bran.
Let's go.
I never
Huge
cared.
fan.
Never cared for the Raisin Bran.
Love it.
Happy birthday, former Red Raider basketball player Martin Zeno, 38 today.
He was fun.
Mm-hmm. He was fun.
And Carl Anthony Towns is 28.
Why are athletes that are left-handed just so much more, I don't know, they just seem more fun to watch. I mean, a good left-handed first baseman is awesome. A left-handed basketball player, I think, is pretty cool. I mean, left-handed quarterbacks, we're all like, oh, he's a lefty.
He's a lefty, yeah. Left-handed pitchers are pretty valuable.
Yeah.
I'm left-handed, but I don't feel like I'm very
We're
valuable.
in awe of you too, Chuck.
I don't feel like I'm very
The
valuable.
way you write cursive with that left hand is amazing. There's so many layers to that, Chuck.
There's so many layers. Complicated guy sometimes. Complicated but simple, I think.
Yeah. So you think that lefties have it harder, but I think they're more respected.
We do have it harder.
I think they're more appreciated. Like we find beauty in them, in their left-handed athleticism.
It's a right-handed world that we all live in.
Play the music.
I was waiting for him to keep going. We were on the verge. It was coming.
It was coming.
Then he quit. 1867 on this day in history, the very first stock ticker is unveiled in New York City. The advent of the ticker ultimately revolutionized the stock market by making up-to-the-minute prices available to investors around the country, Chuck. Prior to this development, information from the New York Stock Exchange, which had been around since 1792, traveled by mail or messenger.
Wow.
So we go from finding out in a couple of days what your stock is worth to finding out in a mere matter of minutes. That is the Stan Sports History.
6:52 this morning here on the Morning Drive. I missed this portion of Tech Talk yesterday, which you can hear every day on Double T 97.3. Tomorrow the fellows will be at Twin Peaks from 3 until 6. Jamie, how did you feel about the Tech Talk voters voting you the most likely employee of our company here, Raymar Communications, to successfully complete a breaking and entering?
Because it takes some, you got to be quiet. You got to be maybe
Stealth?
quiet. So some agility and, and you got to have a good plan in place.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never accomplished said act in my life.
Okay,
up to this
never
point.
tried
At
it.
least that's what I'm going to tell you on the radio.
You've never tried to break and enter into any place that you can think of?
I've never really broken. I've entered some football stadiums illegally.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
But I've never had to break anything.
Right. Okay. So you just kind of walked in.
Yeah.
Jeff, you ever break and enter into anything? It sounds like he has.
You want me to admit a crime on the air?
Sure. I mean,
how stupid do you think I look?
Don't answer that.
So
only one of us announces that we do 100 on the Marsha Sharp. It's not me.
Man, there were a couple people really slow in front of me this morning. This one guy, man, it's like, dude, get out of the freaking way. So I got around him and got around another guy, and then.
I mean, there's like 3 lanes and there's like 3 cars out there. Surely you could figure out to get around him yourself.
This was on the loop-de-loop, and
there's still 3 lanes there too.
I know, but one guy was this, one guy was that. You know, it was just this. Chuck would be the worst at breaking and entering. He would leave a card or want to shake hands. There's probably some truth there too.
Probably not the quietest either.
Probably not the quietest. I'd be a bumbling burglar.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
On Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us this morning here on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. We will have High School Fan Zone on the air tonight. Coaches from Friendship, Lubbock Cooper, and Liberty Cooper on the air tonight. And then Cowboys Crosstalk here on Double T 97.3 tonight at 7. Tomorrow night it's Red Raider football with Joey McGuire. His team takes on Central Florida on Saturday. So here's a couple of little tidbits for you on Central Florida. Their motto, Jamie, ours is "From here it's possible," right?
Okay.
Theirs is "Reach for the stars."
Okay.
Okay. Their former name, which is kind of similar to what Texas Tech's former name was. Texas Tech was formerly known as Texas Technological College, now Texas Tech University. Their former name from 66 to 78 was Florida Technological University. Okay.
It's exciting.
They're only 60 years old. They were originally developed as a means to have a place of education for the Kennedy Space Center, which is, there at Cocoa Beach, and Central Florida is in Orlando. They have 60 some odd thousand students, 68,442 students, 58,000 of which are undergraduates. So it's not a small school. Their notable alumni include a couple of astronauts, which is cool. Brandon Marshall is one of their famous alums. They have a number of gold medalists, Olympics, et cetera, et cetera. And Dante Culpepper among them, Asante Samuel, some NBA players, a wrestler. So anyway, they've come a long ways in a pretty short amount of time. So they're not just this, fly-by-night school, I guess is my point. And now they're in the Big 12, and so now they have true kind of stamp of approval and maybe just some true power behind them because they're in a Power 5 conference. And my thinking probably would be that it's only going to get, the potential for them is extremely high because of where they are there in Florida, and maybe kids that don't want to go or don't get recruited by or would rather go somewhere else other than say a Florida or a Florida State or a Miami. I mean, it's a target-rich environment. They probably could drive within a couple hundred miles of their campus and fill up their football team if they wanted to. Not saying that that's all they do, but if they wanted to. So they'll be and they're coached by Gus Malzahn, who's coming off of a really great performance against Oklahoma State. Dominant, yeah. Did you see their uniforms? They had their space uniforms on.
Yeah, I wondered why they had a highlighter color in there. In the uniforms, it had some bluish, bright bluish.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of the Houston Oilers. Just the jerseys did.
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong. You're kind of looking at me like I'm on crack or something, but that it's a familiar look. They kind of looked. I mean, they had those blue uniforms on, right?
I can't remember how much blue was in it.
It seemed like the whole jersey was blue to me.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, it may have been.
Somebody says this. Get to the important stuff, Chuck. What does the uniform history say for each team? Who should I put my bet on? Not quite ready for that yet. It's only Wednesday. We got to get to Friday first.
All right, Chuck. Yeah, there's a little Houston Oilers look to this. They don't have the red outlining on the numbers,
right? But
would really make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just the same color, light blue.
Yeah.
The light blue with the white number.
That's the same color. You're
not crazy.
It doesn't. I don't think it looks anything like the Oilers, but it's the same color blue.
Okay, that when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, they're kind of doing what Houston.
I would have gone North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair too.
But you're not nuts. Like
okay, on that
on this particular one, you're not nuts. We're making improvements.
Okay. Coach Joey McGuire in his media availability on Monday talked about how playing Kansas before UCF is a help to his football team.
Well, we're glad that we played Kansas last week because they're different but similar, meaning you're going to get a lot of quarterback run game. And so that was good. Kansas moves every single snap. And so I think the communication that we had last week is going to help us this week. A little bit different. I think if the quarterback was healthy all year long, you might see a little bit more K-State run game, but their run game is more like Kansas, zone read. I wouldn't say like the triple option of what Kansas was doing, but you're going to get more of the quarterback run game versus Kansas State. They're more quarterback power, getting behind that offensive line. So I think it's definitely going to help us playing Kansas before. I mean, that's one thing that I made a point to the defense, made a point to the defensive staff. It was good because, it's hard to move more than what Kansas moves. And I thought we did a great job of communicating defensively, and even the long touchdown, that wasn't a lack of communication, that was a lack of execution. We had a good defense called. We just got upfield too much. The ball got pitched too fast, couldn't get the linebacker and the 3 technique over, and then we had an unblocked player. We had 2 unblocked players, and they just didn't make the tackle against a good running back.
So Central Florida is 5-5 overall, 2-5 in the Big 12. They're coming off of the win over Oklahoma State, 45-3. Red Raiders have won their last 2 after losing 2 in October to K-State and BYU. The BYU game on the 21st, and then coming back to beat TCU on November 2nd and Kansas on November 11th. Coach McGuire talks about what has led to the success in November for his team.
I think this year we're probably as healthy as we have been since week 1, and I think Barron is in a groove. I think that, Taj is doing such a good job running the football. Our offensive line is doing a good job. And then, the last couple of weeks against really good offenses, we've played our best defense. And so I think a little bit it has to do with getting healthy. And then, I think we've got some old guys that are really focused of leaving something behind, and part of that leaving something behind is being bowl eligible and being able to play in a bowl game, and that helps you build a program. And so it's kind of the same thing as last year of being able to try to get bowl eligible. I mean, it's frustrating, being 1-3. We played better last year in September, and then we kind of had a bad October. This year we didn't play very well in September at all, and we're playing well at the end of the year. We got to finish it. This is a huge game for us.
Red Raiders also 5-5, so one of these 2 teams is going to get bowl eligible coming. Who do you think has momentum coming into this game?
Both.
Okay. Do you feel more momentum on the UCF side because of how dominant they were? And I mean, you weren't as dominant, obviously. I mean, you might have been dominant defensively, but you weren't offensively.
I Okay.
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
Flip a coin. Okay.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Time now for Jamie's question of the day, brought to you by someone not named Jamie.
Oh, you guys throw me a curveball.
Throwing you a curveball today, Chuck. It's a Wednesday, so I like to give Jamie a day off every now and then. Mm-hmm. And on the day where you get the work done, feels like a good day to have a day off.
Today the jerk gets the day off.
So I asked this question to Tech Talk secretly last Friday.
Secretly?
Well, I was incognito in the chat line. And I think...
Oh, they didn't know it was you.
They didn't know it was me.
You must have really not had much to do.
I was listening and waiting for the day to go through. So, you know, I had some time to kill on my hands. But I also feel like this answer may have changed since Friday, so I figure I would give us the opportunity to answer this question here.
In real life. Lifetime.
Well, yeah, and also, you know, take credit for the question. Gentlemen, with what we know now about the Red Raider basketball team and the Red Raider football team, which one do you think will have the better season?
Well, we're only a couple games into the Red Raider basketball season. We're 10 games into the Red Raider football season, and everybody's, I think to a person is disappointed with where you are right now. I mean, from the head coach on down. I guess I'm going to say basketball just because there's more out in front of you, and I feel like that if you make postseason play, even if you lose in the first round, that is a step in the right direction with this program. And I feel like that with football, if you get bowl eligible this week and then lose next week to Texas, that is like the bare minimum of what you were expecting. Even if you go win your bowl game, you'll be barely above where you were expecting to be at the start of the season. So I'm going to say hoops.
So the question to me here is a 6-6 bowl game better or worse than a first round exit in the NCAA tournament? My answer to that is the first round of the NCAA tournament is better than a 6-6 bowl game. And I'm not also at a point where I'm not saying you can't make it out of the first round of the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't guarantee it or anything like that. I think we have a lot to see. I don't know. But I think I would lean towards thinking, and there also is the part of expectations. We're so much higher for football than where you are with basketball right now. So I think I will lean towards saying I think basketball will be better, but I've gone from thinking you'll be bubble on the outside for the NCAA tournament to thinking bubble you'll get in, but I'm not at this point predicting like a deep run or anything like that. But I reserve the right to wait a little bit here because until we start playing real teams to see how good we are or how not good we are. But I'm also not saying that I don't think that we have a chance to get better and be better than I thought we were going to be. So I definitely would lean towards the basketball side of things. But the truth of the matter is, I think it's going to be decently close. But expectations were so much higher for football than what they are for basketball. Well, maybe in that basketball program, they would disagree and say, hey, we have high expectations. We expect to go undefeated and cut down nets on a Monday night.
Yeah, we haven't heard that conversation at all, though. We haven't really heard any conversation about it, really, any expectation. I mean, they played it pretty close to the vest.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, they played it they played it very close to the vest. So
they put the Final Four on their schedule on the website. I remember there was a time when that was you were really upset if teams don't do it. Yeah,
no, I don't know. I'll take a look. But I like that being on there. I mean, it just kind of sends the message. But yeah, you're right. There were times when I was outraged at that wasn't It wasn't on there, or at least
Does Tech
postseason.
football have the college football playoff on theirs?
Negative.
No, but I don't know that I've ever seen that. Okay, so the Big 12 tournaments on there. Those dates are on there. The NCAA first and yep. It is.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's on there for the women. I don't know if it is or not. But I like that it's on there. I mean, that's where you want to get to, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's where.
Yes.
I
have no issue if they put it on there. If they don't put it on there, I don't have a problem with it either way.
Yeah. No, I know you're right.
Yeah.
I made a hullabaloo out of it.
Baseball has it on there, or they usually do, but that's again not a big deal to me.
Those baseball guys though, they play it very close to the vest as well. I mean they're
No, I think Tadlock's goal every year is to win the.
No, but I mean
College
they're
World
not.
Series national
He's
championship.
not waving pennants and stuff like that. You know.
No, we can barely get him an knowledge that we've been to the World Series before.
That's right.
He's still trying to figure out who his shortstop for Thursday is going to be at this point.
No. It looks like it ends with the. If I'm looking at this correctly, it looks like it ends on the women's side with the final game against K-State. So not even the Big 12 tournaments on here. We gotta get that fixed.
So my answer is basketball, but I think it's decently close. I mean, you're talking about making the postseason, but I mean, if you're at a 6-6 bowl, you're not a major factor. Okay, you're in the NCAA tournament. I feel like that's a step above that, even if you lose in the first round. And I think you'll make the tournament. But again, perception changes all this because of expectations were so much higher for football.
Yeah.
Than what you have for basketball with a new coach and so many new players, and you're saying, oh, okay, it's going to take a little time, and you understand all that. So, hey, can I make just the complete, just off-subject thing Jeff mentioned?
Sure.
Who's going to play shortstop on Thursday? I did find it comical the other day that game one of the Red-Black series that I could hear from the dugout when Will Burns made a nice play. They were calling him QB1. Burns is a guy that I was questioning with Choice and about when there was all this talk about injured quarterbacks and we're going to play a wide receiver. Why was Burns never in the conversation? And so I think there's something to do with him basically gray shirting with football this year, and so I don't think it was possible that he could have played in a game.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's got a great chance to be your starting shortstop. So I don't know if he's going to continue to play football or not, but yeah, I think he's going to take a big step forward this year.
It worked out pretty good for that one kid that decided not to play baseball. So maybe it'll work out really equally good for this kid that decided not to play football.
Who knows?
Who knows, right?
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Look forward to hearing from you today. Yates Flooring Center chat line is open. Before you go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app, Visual Edge IT hotline is open, 806-771-0973. Tonight we'll have the high school fan zone at 7. Coaches from Friendship, Lubbock Cooper, and Liberty Cooper will all enter the fray. And then tonight on Double T 97.3 at 7, it's Cowboys Crosstalk. Okay. So an hour from now, you'll hear the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score with Choice and Hacks, and then Dan Patrick here on Double T 97.3. All right, so the Red-Black series will conclude Thursday. So Team Red has won the first 2 games, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So really no reason to play game 3 then. I mean,
well, you do it to get reps and get live action and all
right.
that. So
I didn't know if there'd be some kind of a thing where Coach Tadlock may all right, Red, you think you've won the first 2 games, but we're going to move some of you black guys over here and some of you red guys over here, and this game now is for steak dinner versus hot dogs. Did you suggest that to the mentor at all? No? Okay.
Man, just think of all those 3-game series that you avoid a sweep in Major League Baseball or in baseball in college or things of those natures that you get to walk out with your head held high because you didn't get swept and you took the last game. Why ever would we want to play a third game when you're down 0-2?
Yeah. Who's going to pitch for both teams on Thursday, do you think?
I think Kyle Robinson is scheduled to pitch for the Red Raiders.
For the red team?
Yes, for the red team. I can't remember who was supposed to pitch for the black.
Okay. Has it gone kind of like you thought it would go so far? I mean, is there...
Yeah, pitching's been really good on the red side. Obviously, offense hasn't been much for the black team. But, yeah, it feels like usually these things are a little more high scoring.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that hasn't been the case. And that's I was thrilled to see what you got out of Tabor Fast yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So he did 4 innings, 2 hit ball from the left-hander. Are the teams pretty well evenly split, or is it loaded? Is the red team loaded with mostly starters?
No, I think they try to make them even.
Okay. Anybody kind of play better than what you've thought so far? I mean, that's not the right way to ask that question. Who has improved the most, would you say, from what you saw at the end of last season to where you are right now?
I don't know that anybody of the returners has just like shocked me, and I feel like, oh
Stood
man,
out.
they're so much better than they were last year. I think you're going to be much better defensively behind the plate in Kevin Bazell. He's a better receiver and a better thrower. I think Hudson White was solid. I think Hudson, was a good hitter for you as well. But I think you've taken an upgrade here at the catcher position, and ultimately I think Hudson White knew that. Knew that Kevin Bazell was going to be the for the most part everyday catcher, and that's why he left.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't want to become and the Red Raiders tried to move him around. They played him at second base last year. They played him at third base last year, and Hudson just never looked good. My guess is that maybe Tech was going to try to make him into a corner outfielder this year, and again, that's why I think that he felt like he needed to go elsewhere. But Kevin Bazell is legit defensively, and you saw what he was offensively last year, freshman All-American, all the above, and was good at third base defensively too. But I think you've, excuse me, as good as Kevin was over there, I think you're just as good with Cade McGee over there at third base now, the Gonzaga transfer, and he's been one of the hottest hitters in the series so far. So, and a veteran guy, so that's nice. They've moved guys around. I've seen Tracer Lopez playing over there at second base, and I thought that was the natural progression with him. I figured that would happen this season, and it looks like Will Burns has a great chance to be your starting shortstop. But I tell you what, the guy who impressed me the most on day one was freshman shortstop T.J. Pompey, who showed, man, he can swing it, and so he's got pop, he's got speed. Really good athlete. Defensively, he was good. Showed off strong arm. So I don't know that that's a guarantee that it's Burns, because Pompey looks like he absolutely should be in the running for that job also. I guess maybe one guy that coming back, Chuck, has has been impressive so far that maybe you didn't count on was Drew Woodcox. Woodcox made the game-saving catch in the first game, leaping over the wall and robbing a 3-run homer from Bazell, and then he's really swung it well. I believe 4 hits the first 2 games, and so Drew's got plenty of power too. So, and maybe he's grabbing one of those or making a stake for one of those corner outfield spots, because he gives you a lot of power.
I thought you'd say making a steak, like going to cook a steak, but you're making a steak like...
We're going back to that. No. You're seeing Austin Green play right field, and I think that's where you'll see Austin. I don't think he'll be an infielder this year. Maybe sporadically, but I think he's an outfielder, and I think you're much better defensively with a Tracer Lopez or a Travis Sanders over there at second base than you were with Austin Green there. So, they always talk about being good up the middle. That's a key for baseball, and I think, I think you're better defensively at catcher. I think you're better defensively at second base. I think Burns and Pompey have shown that they're pretty good at shortstop. And then Gage Harrelson, you would think, is your starting center fielder, you would think. And, Gage wasn't as good as Dylan Carter last year, but he can go and get balls. And so,
but he can hit too.
He can absolutely hit, and he's a guy that you would probably say is one of your top candidates to be your leadoff hitter.
Okay. Right?
And don't forget Owen Washburn, because Washburn was injured for a lot of last year.
Sounds like this team's loaded.
He's a corner outfielder, but he actually he played some center field on Monday, so maybe he's an option out there as well. I do think offensively this team is loaded. You didn't lose a lot from last year. We haven't even mentioned your All-American first baseman and Gavin Cash. Okay, I don't expect Gavin to have the kind of year that he had last year, but I'm not saying he can't. But I just think people are going to pitch him carefully, and he's got to be able to learn to adjust. It looked like on Monday he was trying to take the ball the opposite way more than he used to. I think offensively you've got a really stout group there, and deep, and so you've just got to get things figured out in the pitching staff, and so far we've seen good signs.
8:10 this morning on the morning drive. Got a couple more thoughts on that. Then I want to pick Jamie's brain about the baseball free agency stuff that came out last night.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.